Good evening and thank you for staying with us right here in Voice of the People 90.3 FM. This is World News. My name is Esther Mwachuku. First of the top stories. Army decorates 28 promoted senior officers. ISWAP executes 2 Nigerian Army spies, raids police operatives' house. In a very recent development as well, Adamawa women shot dead by Nigerian soldiers given mass burial, identities released. Ex-Chief of Army Staff Atahiru was assassinated in plane explosion, retired General alleges. Senate tells Tinubu to exempt lawmakers from police withdrawal directives. Fubara breaks silence on Rift to Rivers lawmakers amid defection to APC. First Lady Remi Tinubu breaks silence on controversy with Osun Governor Adeleke. Details now. The Nigerian Army today formally decorated 28 senior officers with new ranks, with the Minister of Defense, General Christopher Musa, urging them to justify their elevation through renewed dedication, loyalty, and service to the nation. The ceremony was held at the Army Headquarters Command Officers Mess 1, Asokoro, Abuja, saying 28 brigadier generals, including one posthumously, received their insignia as major generals. This was contained in a statement by the acting director of Army Public Relations, Apollonia Anile. General Musa, the special guest of honor, praised the officers for their courage, professionalism, and years of selfless service. He noted that the decorations underscore their consistent commitment to national security and the collective effort to strengthen the Nigerian Army. He also called for deeper inter-service cooperation, enhanced intelligence sharing, and unity of effort across all security agencies, while acknowledging the support of the officers' families. The Islamic State West Africa Province ISWAP has reportedly executed 2 individuals accused of being spies loyal to the Nigerian Army. This brings the total number of executions carried out by the terror group in recent days to 9. The spike in executions is suspected to be a preemptive measure to eliminate moves ahead of a rumored upcoming joint US-Nigeria offensive against the terror group. ISWAP executed 2 of their supposed loyal spies whom they consider were given information to the Nigerian Army just yesterday. One of them was captured in his house in Dekwa, Yobe, and another in Gubbio, Borno State. The terrorists also took his car. ISWAP carried out 9 executions in recent days, very likely in preparation for the upcoming joint US-Nigeria offensive against them. In a separate operation, ISWAP militants reportedly raided 3 houses belonging to a Nigerian police officer in charge, Mohammed Modu, in Tetiba, Yobe State. The terrorists, reportedly acting on intelligence from local informants, set all 3 houses ablaze. The militants also stole motorcycles and vehicles belonging to the officer. Fortunately, no casualties were reported during the raid. In a scene steeped in grief, outrage, and unresolved questions, 9 women killed on Monday's alleged army personnel shooting in Adamawa State were on Tuesday laid to rest in a mass burial that drew thousands of mourners from Lamode and neighboring communities. The solemn event, held within the grounds of the Lamode Local Government Secretariat, served both as a farewell ceremony and a community indictment. Leaders used the occasion to unveil the identities of the deceased women whose death have now ignited fresh demands for justice. The victims are Florence Frank, Susie Tanko, Mary Talman, Mercy Kennedy, Lucky Yakubu, Puam Wasari Tami, Mary Shai Komo, Destiny Gibson, and Humbonkwama Nixon. Wrapped in white grass mat laid side by side, the victims' bodies formed a haunting tableau that deepened the community's anger over what many describe as an unavoidable and unjustified military assault. The army opened fire on this innocent woman. At the burial, Boate Youth Wing, representing several dialect groups of the Bachama-speaking communities, issued a stinging condemnation of the Nigerian army. Its Secretary General Abner Kwakano insisted the military was directly responsible. Kwakano demanded a transparent, independent investigation, insisting that anything short of accountability would be an insult to the victims' memories. Chobo Youth Forum counters blame, insisting they were the victims. The Chobo Youth Forum pushed back against reports suggesting it's tribal militia that initiated the confrontation. Now, retired Major General Danjuma Ali Keffi, former head of the covert operations service-wide, has made explosive allegations that the death of former Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Ibrahim Tahiru in the May 2021 air disaster was not an accident but a deliberate elimination orchestrated through internal hostility, operational sabotage, and high-level corruption. Lieutenant General Tahiru and 10 other military personnel died on May 21, 2021 when their aircraft crashed near the Kaduna International Airport runway. The other victims were Brigadier General Mohammed Abdulkadir, Brigadier General Olatunji Olainka, Brigadier General Abdurrahman Kuliya, Major Lawal Aliyu Hayat, Major Noura Hamza, Flight Lieutenant Alfred Ayodeji Olufade, Flight Lieutenant Taiwo Olufemi Asaniyi, Sergeant Umar Saidu, Sergeant Additional Isaiah, and aircraftman Oyedepo Matthew. Ali Keffi, who claimed he personally observed the bodies, insisted that the aircraft did not crash but exploded just above ground level. Now, Ali Keffi detailed the basis for his suspicion, arguing that the injuries sustained by the victims were inconsistent with a typical plane crash. He insisted the bodies were flung far from the point of impact, and injuries on some victims, such as Major Noura Hamza having his legs blown off from the knees down, suggested a blast occurred inside the cabin. In contrast, he said the bodies of the two pilots reportedly showed no burns and remained strapped to their seats, which he attributed to the armored or steel door separating the cockpit from the cabin. He challenged authorities to examine the aircraft's black boxes and exhume the bodies to test for explosive residue to establish the true cause of the incident. Ali Keffi's account alleges that Tahiru was targeted due to his efforts to clean up corruption and sabotage within the military. He said the late Chief of Army Staff has reportedly ordered a forensic audit of funds and equipment in the army and was scheduled to act on the findings on Monday, May 24, 2021, 3 days after his death. Ali Keffi questioned the fate of this critical report. As head of Operation Service-Wide, Ali Keffi's team had observed massive amounts of funds meant for the counter-terrorism campaign being diverted into private pockets and arrested terror financiers who were allegedly laundering money for senior military and government officials. Ali Keffi said Tahiru had confided in him about a suspected leak at Army headquarters after informing a superior about intelligence on Boko Haram leader Abubakar Shekau's hiding place in Maiduguri. An unsecured directive to capture Shekau was sent out, and Shekau immediately fled the location, leading Tahiru to suspect a tip-off. He said Tahiru disclosed intelligence that one of his sector commanders was allegedly paying off Boko Haram fighters to avoid attacks, describing the officer as the godson of a powerful superior. Also, according to him, Tahiru warned him to stay away from a particular retired senior officer whom he suspected of engaging in harmful or diabolical activities. He said Tahiru frequently referred to this figure as that man and seemed to speak with a sense of dread whenever the individual's name came up. In a very recent development too, the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar expressed concerns over the violent clashes between the Bachama and Sobo communities in Lamode Adamawa State. In a statement on Wednesday, Atiku described the bloodshed and destruction as unacceptable, urging immediate government intervention. Atiku stressed that both the federal and state governments have a solemn duty to act decisively to hold the escalating violence, protect human lives, and restore peace to the affected communities. He also highlighted distorted reports alleging that women protesters were shot and killed by soldiers of the 23rd Brigade of the Nigerian Army in Yola. He said they must act decisively in handling the situation, appealing as well to the Nigerian Army to do the needful in having to visit the area and the victims of the families of those who were shot. He says whoever is responsible for the killings, either civilian or military, must be held accountable under the law. Now, First Lady Mrs. Remi Tinubu also has publicly reacted to the intense debate surrounding her interaction with Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke during the 10th coronation anniversary of the Ooni of Ife. The event, which held in Ile-Ife on Sunday, was meant to celebrate a decade on the throne of Oba Enitan Adeyeye Ogunwusi. The ceremony would also feature the conferment of the traditional title Yege Asiwaju Gbogbo Ile Odua on the First Lady. However, it took an unexpected turn after an exchange with Governor Adeleke. While the governor stepped forward to deliver his remarks, he began by singing praises to the monarch and to the First Lady. It was at this point she intervened, telling him, "Enough with the music or I will switch off the microphone," before instructing him that he had 5 minutes to conclude his message. This moment was captured on video and actually circulated across social media, drawing widespread criticism from Nigerians who saw her tone as confrontational and unnecessary. However, her comment has not slowed down the backlash online. Many Nigerians insist her approach towards the governor was disrespectful and unbecoming of the office she occupies. Rivers State Governor Simlai Fubara has finally addressed the talks about a supposed clash between him and lawmakers representing the state. The governor, who recently left the PDP for the APC, said the stories suggesting he had fallen out with both federal and state legislators were not true. Fubara spoke today during the commissioning of the expanded 28.4-kilometer Awada Omoku Road. He used the event to clear the air, stressing that his relationship with the lawmakers had not broken down as widely claimed. According to him, plans for a meeting with the legislators had already been put in motion before the rumors started. The Rivers State Governor explained that former governor and current FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, alongside respected Rivers leader Ferdinand Alabarba and others, had been scheduled to coordinate the discussions. He dismissed claims that he turned down opportunities to meet with the lawmakers, describing such suggestions as false. He says anyone saying he rejected proposals concerning the lawmakers, he insisted, is not telling the truth. Governor Fubara also used the road commissioning to ask Rivers people to stay behind President Bola Tinubu's administration, saying his recent move to the APC was motivated by the need to stabilize the state. He emphasized that it was not driven by personal ambition, but by a desire to restore calm and keep development on track. You're currently listening to the World News right here on Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. We will take a very short break. When we return, we'll head into a news analysis segment where I'll be joined via the telephone with Barrister Darlington Agumwa, who will be giving us his perspective to some questions posed at him. Do kindly stay with us. Alright, thank you for staying with us. This is still the World News right here on Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. Barrister Darlington Agumwa, good evening. Thank you for joining me today via the telephone.
Thank you, sir. How are you?
I am fine, sir. Thank you. Barrister, very quickly, retired Major General Danjuma Ali Keffi, former head of the covert operation service-wide, has made explosive allegations that the death of the former Chief of Army Staff was not an accident. It was an assassination, a blatant assassination. According to him, he said that there was a Tahiru, that is the former Chief of Army Staff, actually observed that there was internal hostility, and he concluded that he was the one who investigated the bodies of the army personnel in that particular helicopter. He says internal hostility, operational sabotage, and high level corruption paraded the military at the time, and that Tahiru had already unmarked some of these individuals. He wanted to collate viable evidence of moles within the military who were giving intelligence reports to Boko Haram, who were financing them, who were giving them exact pinpoint locations of when the Nigerian military on ground would be approaching certain terrains. And whenever he spoke about these individuals, he never could call names, but he could tell that there was dread. He said it was a particular sensitive information Tahiru got that made them enter that plane to go to the location to meet with the person who was responsible for leaking out information. Now, he said when he observed the bodies of these retired generals and others who along with him were in the helicopter, he said that it seemed inside that jet, inside the plane, right, where they were in, that it seemed there was a bomb planted inside, that most of them, about 2 or 3 of them, their knees below were blown off. It didn't look like a crash where either the entire bodies are burnt beyond recognition or possibly mangled due to obstruction on the bones or some of the arteries in the body. So how do you describe the scenario that the intelligence and investigation was carried out and concluded since 2021, and everywhere was silent about the true death of the Chief of Army Staff?
Esther, have I not told you that the military are the reason why this thing has been prolonged? This insurgency, this terrorism. Have I not told you? But some of you will be saying, our military are very gallant. They went to Liberia, they went to Sierra Leone, they did all this. I said that was the military there, not this one. This one had politicized. Esther, I am not surprised. Because when this thing happened, I suspected it. Because in the first place, this is Tahiru. He was invited by the National Assembly, the Senate, to come and explain all the funds they get to the military,
Yes.
Where it went to what happened. The man blasted them. He was angry. In fact, he was very blunt. He said, come, what are you, am I Buratai? It was Buratai that you take money, not me. I just said that of it. I thought it's you. Why are you asking me this question? The man blasted them and they walk out from without even looking back. I said, this is the man to do the job. But he must watch his back. Esther, not long after that incident, this man was taken down. He was taken down. So, how can you tell me that this Nigerian military of today, they meet well for Nigeria? You see, some of you look this from the surface. I don't. I don't tell me anytime I've read the military. Nation one day I have praised this military for whatever you say they're doing. They are the one why we're in this mess. They are the one. But unfortunately, the president cannot even talk to him, to anybody there. He's even afraid of it. He can't talk. This information now is not enough for people to clean this our military. Clean up this military minister. All this our arms minister. So that means they must have died of shock.
Yes. No.
So that means they must have died of shock.
Yes. No. The bomb. Yes.
They died of shock. Now, Esther, did anybody tell us this things in 2021? Did anybody?
No. You remember that the general was kept underground for 64 days.
Good. Look, there are many revelations to come. And I've told you several in that studio that the day the true story of this terrorism will be revealed. I hope Nigerians will wait for it. And have I not told you? People cannot deceive me. I know all the time they are playing. Just that nobody wants to say it. But thank God, a courageous man is not telling us the truth. Nothing lasts forever, I told you. No evil lasts forever. At a point, it will be revealed. Nothing that is hidden will be revealed. Now that Tinubu is getting this information, what will he do with it? What will he do with it? What will he do with it? That is the first question I will ask you now.
Well, General Ali Keffi has asked them to go investigate, look at the examine the black boxes, exhume the bodies to test for explosive residue to establish the true cause of the incident. But this is since about 3 or 4 years ago. Is it possible to get any direct a true actuality of what transpired when things were still fresh and they did not do anything about it.
Yes, that is if you even see the black box. Since independence till now, I think there have been about 65 plane crashes in Nigeria. Out of that, only 11 that the black box cannot be found. 11 of them, the black box disappeared. And you know very well that no matter how a plane crash happens, no matter how it is burnt, the black box will never get burnt. It will never, nothing will happen to it. It will be intact until it is found. But the year is that 11 of them just disappeared. Nobody can find it. Nobody can see it. What does that tell you? So, thank God, all our predictions is coming to light. Because whenever I say that video and I saw people talk and just being very critical of the government, but you can't play on my intelligence. And a man who did what he did, after he should have the ability to support and for even the government. They were there when this man was taken out. And so many other people that want to do the right thing, they were taken out, they were taken out. And you are telling me that this military want this thing to end. It will never end. Except these bad eggs are removed from the military.
Do you think the president should order for the investigation of the former chief of army staff, Buratai? Yes, Buratai.
Yes, they should. Because we heard all the things he was saying.
But do you think the president will be able to pull that off? Do you think he will have the spine? Do you think the president will have the spine to pull that off?
That is my problem here. This is the commander-in-chief, he's not commanding anybody. This commander-in-chief, he's not commanding anybody. If he could not defend his own wife, is it you that he will defend? I will never stop talking of it. Each time I have a body, I will remind you about this thing. Your wife was threatened and you couldn't do anything. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? Look, this is not about politics. It's about Nigeria. It's about Nigeria. Nigeria is sinking. Tinubu does not have what it takes to rule this country. Let us not deceive ourselves. He couldn't even call out anybody. He was never blocked with anything.
All right, Barrister. Let's look at this. I'm sure you already know about the grief and outrage and unresolved questions where 9 women were killed on Monday. They were actually protesting about the deteriorating situation in their communities, and the army shot at them. Like live rounds of ammunition shot at them, and they didn't stop by. They didn't try to commiserate with them. We've not heard if they have gone to the communities to apologize, to seek for succor, to somehow show some form of empathy. Barrister Darlington Agumor, Atiku Abubakar, the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party in 2023, said that it would not make sense for the Nigerian army not to show any form of empathy in addressing the situation of the women, that incident was avoidable. Why shoot live rounds at this woman? Were there no other any method of obstructing this woman from proceeding further with their protest than live ammunition?
Do not go far. Did you hear the names you called out? Mary, Lucy,
Yes, Mary Talmon, Mercy Kennedy, Lucky Yakubu.
These are Christian women. Go and read that name again. These are Christian women. They murdered them. They murdered them. I have told these people to stop killing Christians. Enough is enough. These are mothers. These are women that have families. You don't remove them like that. I have told them, if you must kill, please kill your own people. Stop killing Christians. Because tomorrow they tell you, they're killing Muslims too. They're killing the Muslims.
But Barrister, why would the army shoot live rounds at protesters? Every Nigerian has a right to protest if they don't feel safe, if they don't feel protected, if they are not happy with the government. Why would they shoot live rounds at these women? And up till now, we've not had any official condemnation from the FG, from the army quarters.
Listen very well, those women were murdered. That was why they used live ammunition. They were murdered in cold blood. Let nobody be deceived here. They were murdered. And they are calling it some militia. Who are the militia? And it has to be Christian women. Go and read those names again. Read them again. You'll confirm what I'm saying. They were murdered in cold blood. They were murdered. Using life ammunition on women that are just protest. Women, they are not carrying it or nothing to monitor them. And they are not giving the excuse that it's militia, community clash, this and that. Community clash, it has to be women, are they?
Barrister, why do we have institutions that are meant to value and prioritize the lives of the people they govern act as if the people they are governing are ants? They are subordinates, persons they can treat anyhow like grasshoppers or debts that they can match and crunch it, and nothing would happen, like literally nothing. Are we saying that we're operating in a system where the lives of Nigerians are not taken seriously?
It only happened one-sided. These women that were murdered, they are Christian women. Oh yeah, let them go and try it with Muslim women and see what will happen. And for you to know that it is deliberate act. When you are saying that the people, no, it is one-sided. Some people in Nigeria don't have a say. They can do with them anything they like, and nobody will question anybody. Those women are Christian women, and I challenge anybody to investigate the matter and tell me what those women did and to warrant somebody using life and vision on them. And let them tell me, is it a grand protest? When they were protesting, you shoot any military? They can't go on. So why would you use the Allah permission of protesters, women for that matter? And nobody has said anything. Tomorrow they will deny all this happening. They will deny it. Let them go and try Muslim women now. Let them try so that we know that they are thoughts about it. And you see what will happen. So when you are saying that people, no, it is only Christians. So it is only Christians. We don't have a say in Nigeria. You know they cannot protest. Women cannot protest. And yet they are telling me there is no genocide in Nigeria.
All right, Barrister Darlington Agumo, thank you so much for giving us your insight. Today's news is actually very short. We'll have a program coming up now.
Yeah, my pleasure.
All right, thank you. And just before we go, tourists from dozens of countries, including the UK, could be asked to provide a 5-year social media history as a condition of entry to the United States under a new proposal unveiled by American officials. The new condition could affect people from dozens of countries who are eligible to visit the US for 90 days without a visa, as long as they have filled out an electronic system for travel authorization form. Since returning to the White House in January, President Donald Trump has moved to toughen US borders more generally, citing national security as a key reason. Analysts say the new plan could pose an obstacle to potential visitors or harm their digital rights. The US expects a major influx of foreign tourists next year as it hosts the Men's Football World Cup alongside Canada and Mexico, and for the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles. And that's a wrap on the world news at 6. My name is Esther Wachuku. Good evening and thank you for listening. Up next is Pantaleave.